this crochet video, I'm going to teach you 4 different techniques: increasing, decreasing, shell, and cluster. So I have a row here of double crochet, and now I'm ready to start my next row. So I'll just flip right over. I've already done my chain. Now I'm going to just do 2 double crochet. 1, and 2. So now on this third stitch, I'm going to increase. Increasing, all you're doing is basically adding another stitch in the same hole or in the same stitch as the previous row. So at this point, I have 1 double crochet in this stitch. Now I'm going to put another double crochet in the same stitch. So now I have increased by 1 for this row. Now I can continue across, or I can continue doing 2 double crochet in each of these to make it even more. But that's increasing. So you're just putting more stitches in the same stitch or in the same hole. Decreasing, I'll just do a regular double crochet here, and then I'll decrease. I guess I can decrease here. So I'll decrease now. So decreasing, a little bit different. You're going to go in like you're doing a double crochet, but you're going to go to this stage, this step where you have 2 loops on your hook, and then you're going to go yarn over and go right into that next stitch. So basically you're putting these 2 stitches together. So you're not finishing this one completely. You're going into this one, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. Okay, pull through 2. Now you have the original loop, the loop from that first crochet or that first double crochet, and now you have a loop from the second double crochet. So now these are in the same stage. This one I pulled through 2, and then I went into this one and pulled through 2. So now I'm going to yarn over and go through all 3 of these loops. So go right up under all 3 loops. So that is considered a decrease, because now these 2 these 2 stitches are now just 1 stitch on top there. Does that make sense? So these 2 stitches now have become 1, as you can see at the top. So that's increasing and decreasing. Pretty simple. Now let's go to how you would do a cluster. Excuse me. So I'll start the row with just 1. I'll start with 2 double crochet in this row. So now I'll do my cluster in this next stitch. So to do a cluster, I'll do the cluster first. A little bit more advanced than the shell, but we'll do the cluster since I said it. So now we're going to just go right into making your double crochet. You go in, pull up a loop, then you're going to go under, or pull your loop under the first 2 like you would normally do, but then you're going to keep that one on. So just like you were decreasing, you're going to keep that loop on your hook. Yarn over, and instead of going into the next stitch like you would if you were wanting to decrease this, you go into the same stitch. Yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over and go through the first 2 just like you would. Just ignore these last 2, go through the first 2. And now I have done that twice. This was the original. This is the first time that I did that. This is the second time that I did that. That meaning halfway complete the double crochet. yarn over, go through the same loop again, yarn over, pull that loop up, go through the first 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Okay, and get all that in there. So now I've done it 3 times. Original, 1, 2, 3. So now at this point, I can yarn over and pull this loop under all 4 of my loops. And that has made a cluster. So as you can see, it doesn't stand out that well. I should have done another one, but you can tell that all of these stitches, the 3 that I did, are now all together in one. So it's similar to your decreasing that I just showed you, but you're kind of making a cluster of stitches all in one hole instead of putting 2 together. Now let's go on to doing a shell. So a shell is less complicated than the cluster actually. So I'll use that same stitch. So I have double crochet 2, and now I'm going to use the same stitch to do my shell. With shell, all you're doing is you're putting a lot of stitches into one stitch. So similar to the decreasing, similar to the cluster, but in this case you are completing the entire double crochet stitch each time. So you're going to just double crochet 5 times to make a really nice cluster. You probably would need to do it 5 times at least, or at least 4 times. So I've done 1, and go ahead and complete your, I'm completing the double crochet 3, 4, all in the same stitch, same hole, 4. These are all double crochet, and 5. So now you see how that's like a shell? So I have 5 complete double crochets all in the same stitch. To make this nicer, the next stitch over, I would just single crochet in that. Why am I doing that? Because you can now see how the shell is shaped. Let me do another shell and then I'll explain why in a second here. So I'm going to do another shell, just do another 5 double crochets all in the same stitch, or all in the same hole. That's 3. 4 and 5 here. Excuse me. So, and then I'll do a single crochet in the next stitch, and then I'll show you what that looks like. So now you see how you have 2 bumps there, 2 shells. Okay. So the reason why it looks that way. Here, I did a single crochet because in that first video or second video I told you how it's important to see the height of your stitches. So the double crochets are pretty tall, single crochet is very short, so it can shape your stitches or your piece by in between the 2 tall stitches you put a short stitch so that you can bend those stitches down so they can curve to make a shell shape. Okay? So that's pretty easy to do. So now we've gone through fillet, Tunisian, shell, cluster. We've gone through the back loops. So these are all just techniques you can do to just do different fun little things to your piece instead of making it just all single crochet, which is fine, but to make it have its own personality, and that's how you make beautiful things. And that's really the basics. There's a lot more stitches, but those are really the basic things that you will find in a pattern pretty readily. Next video will be, next video I will definitely do the circular crochet. A little bit different. There's two different ways you can start it. So I'll make an entire video for that. And so leave some feedback. Let me know what you guys think about these videos. And if you have any questions, just let me know. Thanks for watching. Bye.